The following explanation is to help you understand project management as a whole. The FX project was one of the biggest projects of South Korea in 2013. The FX project is South Korea's fighter procurement project with a budget of $7.4 billion. Let's take a look at the concept of project, how to manage a project, how to implement the change management and control process, and how to complete project management. First, the concept of project management. Project management refers to overall activity aiming to ensure successful completion of the project. It is systematic management of the procedure, technology and knowledge with regard to the schedule, organization, manpower, command, and control necessary to ensure successful project management. In other words, it is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result by investing resources and efforts. Let's take a look at key features of a project. First, it is a temporary endeavor with a specific start and end date. Second, it aims to provide a unique product or service to customers. Third, it is subject to the constraint of cost and time. Fourth, it provides quality deliverables by using resources. Lastly, it involves the process of progressive elaboration that turns specific requirements into deliverables at the end of a project phase rather than at its beginning. Other terms similar to project are program and portfolio. These terms have the following meanings, depending on the size of a business project and its methodology. First, a project generally refers to a set of unit activities. Second, a program refers to a group of related projects. Third, a portfolio refers to a collection of projects managed at the enterprise level, with the target of visibility. Following this training, you should be able to tell the difference between the three terms: project management, program management, and portfolio management. Let's take a look at the three terms with regard to project scope. The scope of a project refers to objectives to be accomplished during its life cycle. A program has a more important interest and bigger scope than those of a project. And a portfolio has strategic objectives of an organization and systematic scope. Let's take a look at the examples of project management. The following is the project for integrating both web services of Auction and Gmarket to support simultaneous product registration at their e-commerce websites. That is, the registration of a product at either website will simultaneously display the product at both websites. The project lasted 10 months, and it was a medium-sized project with about 50 manpower per month. The next is McDonald's Innovate Project. Conceived in 2001, this project is an endeavor to build a global ERP application networking all its stores. This project aims to connect over 30,000 McDonald's stores in about 120 countries on its intranet in order to ensure real-time monitoring of the sales status and cooking conditions. However, the project was suspended in 2003, resulting in a loss of approximately $170 million. The failure of the project can be attributed to the lack of IT infrastructure in certain countries. The analysis of the causes of failed project management shows the following outcomes. This is the Standish Group's Chaos Report 2010. The rate of successful projects among 4,000 stood at about 37%. Another 42% of projects showed budget overrun, delayed delivery, or insufficient system functions. And the rest, 21% of projects were canceled or saw their resulting systems unused. Let's take a close look at the causes of the failure of those projects. First of all, unclear requirements accounted for 13%. Lack of understanding of user interface accounted for 12%. Poor resources accounted for 11%. Unrealistic user expectations accounted for 10%. The lack of management resources accounted for 9%. Poor change management accounted for 9%. Lastly, poor project planning accounted for 8%. Now, let's take a look at the countermeasures taken against failed projects. First, delay of schedule was the most common measure. Other countermeasures include change in management methodology, addition of more man-month, financial pressure on contractors, and reduction of overall scope. Now, let's take a look at project organizational structures. There are 3 types of organizational structures in general business project: functional organization, matrix organization, and project organization. A functional organization refers to ones having business-related functions, such as sales department, legal department, and technical department. Each department may carry out its own project. In a functional structure, a project manager plays the role as a coordinator, having limited authority over most matters, including resource changes, and having an authority as a functional team leader. A project manager has the least authority compared to those in other organizations. Second, matrix organization. It refers to a type of project organization in which employees from different functional departments are assigned to a project team. In a weak matrix organization, a project manager has a weak authority. In a balanced matrix organization, a medium authority, and in a strong matrix organization, a strong authority. Third, project organization with a separate, independent team. A project manager has an authority on personnel matters and a responsibility for the entire project. That is, a project manager has a full authority on project. Let's take a look at project stakeholders. A project stakeholders refers to a customer drawing up requirements for the project, a sponsor, or a project manager. Since each stakeholder has different interest in the project, a project manager should identify stakeholders at the beginning of the project. A project manager also should maintain a balance among those stakeholders and create an environment for their mutual cooperation. The following are key project stakeholders. First, a customer refers to a prospective user drawing up requirements for the project deliverables. Second, a sponsor refers to a person having ownership of the overall project and an authority on project efforts, that is, one who approves the project. Third, a portfolio manager refers to an enterprise manager of multiple projects. Fourth, a program manager refers to a manager of multiple related business projects or a program manager. Lastly, a project manager refers to a person responsible for successful delivery of a single project. Now, let's take a close look at the authority and role of a project manager. A project manager refers to a person responsible for managing a project from initiation through closure. In other words, a project manager is one leading all stages of a project upon the assignment of a mission by a sponsor. Let's take a look at the role of a project manager in each stage. A project manager is responsible for managing and controlling key project management areas: scope, cost, schedule, and quality, in order to achieve the most fundamental objective of projects, meeting the requirements of customers. Key capabilities required for a project manager include project management knowledge capability, technical capability, and communication capability. First, project management knowledge capability. A project manager needs to be equipped with knowledge of project management system. A project manager must have knowledge of the use of project management processes, templates, and tools, provide a framework for project management, and have knowledge of schedule management. A project manager also needs to be knowledgeable about project areas such as scope, schedule, cost, quality, human resource, communication, risk, procurement management, and integration management, configuration control, and contract management. Second, technical capability. A project manager must have capabilities in technical knowledge about project management and IT trends. Third, communication capability. A project manager must have skills of negotiation, communication, and human resource management. I would like to explain what PMO is. A PMO is a dedicated group within an organization that oversees the entire project cycle. It is also a group supporting the successful implementation of a project by establishing a standardized project management system and through the effective management and control of potential risk factors. Depending on its area and objective, PMO can be classified into a number of models, but generally into the following 4 types. First, PMO models by position in an organization. It is a classification for the type of PMO members and can be classified into internal staffs, a pool of external experts, and a mix of both. Second, PMO models by role and responsibility. It can be classified into weather station model, coach model, and control tower model. Third, PMO model by time spent and classification of position. Depending on the time spent by its PM, PMO is classified into part-time PMO, full-time PMO, PMO director, and CPO. Fourth, PMO model by technical classification. In general, PMO is classified into IT consulting, development methodology, quality process, regulation, communication, reporting and coordinating role. Every project has a life cycle. The project life cycle consists of the initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing phases. First, the initiating phase is to create a project charter for approval and set objectives. Second, planning phase. This phase is to develop overall project plans, such as scope planning, scope definition, activity definition, cost estimation, budgeting, quality planning, organization planning, manpower planning, and risk planning. Third, executing phase. This phase is to execute the project plans, which is usually the longest phase of the project life cycle. Fourth, monitoring and controlling phase. This phase is to report performance, Control the scope, schedule, cost, and quality. Lastly, closing phase. This phase is to undertake tasks for closing a project and choose the contract with suppliers. Now, let's take a look at key deliverables of each project lifecycle. The initiating phase comes with project approval. The planning phase comes with a project management plan. The executing phase comes with project deliverables. Lastly, the closing phase comes with a project closure report. Now, let's take a look at the costs and man-month of each project lifecycle. You can see that costs and man-month are mostly concentrated in the executing phase. Then, costs and man-month tend to plunge in the closing phase. Next, costs and risk of each project lifecycle. The y-coordinate is the impact on project, and the x-coordinate is the project lifecycle flow. The chart shows that accumulated costs grow as the project lifecycle progresses. Risk and uncertainty are very high at the beginning of a project, but keep declining as the closing phase draws closer. Lastly, let's take a look at how to verify the project feasibility. Verification of the project feasibility is one of key elements for decision-making in project management. In general, projects are more likely to fail in achieving their originally anticipated objectives, so it is imperative that the objectives be confirmed before each project gets started. And if the anticipated objectives have been achieved, be verified after the completion of a project. The following is a case in point regarding verification of the project feasibility. The bar chart compares the target sales volume set prior to the project with the actual volume. The following bar chart shows the development of the number of active sellers who have launched a project management service. Following the project, its feasibility must be verified in the perspective of finance, customer satisfaction, and whether the number of customers has been reached.